Hello and welcome to What's Bubbling at ZIMjs. I'm inventor Dan Zen, and in this bubbling we're pleased to present zim.Blob. Woo! That allows you to make blobs with Bezier points. So we might make this a two-parter because there's lots of cool stuff to see. Let's take a look at an example of a blob in action. You ready? Wow, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So we use this for a light show. Those are three blobs there, a red one, a blue one, and a shadowy type thing right there in the middle. Shadowy ones, we're animating the control points quite a lot, where the other two were not as much. And we've got these circles as well that are being emitted from a particle emitter. So that's a blob, and let's go take a look and make a simple one, okay? Hey, all right, we'll go into some code. Let's see, close that down. So we're using Zim 5.1. We've already got a blob made that has a pattern to it, but we'll talk about that after. Right now I want to just make a simple one. So var simple is equal to a new zim.Blob, and we'll add that to the stage, and we'll position it at, I don't know, about 800, comma 100. Okay, and let's take a look and see what that looks like. Let's bring that down a bit, 800, 200. Refresh, there we go. So this is a blob that we made right here, and it starts off as a circle with a default of 4 points, and then you can take these points around and turn it into a banana! Woohoo! Or whatever it may be, and these are Beziers, so you can curve those like so, pull them. Isn't that neat? Now, you can change the type of point it is. I must have already done that with this one, I think, on a double click. Yeah, so if you double click, you change the types of points. Double click, and now it's back to how it was. This version of Bezier is called straight because the line between stays straight, but you can change the length of that, you see? If I double click, we get free. So this is a free form Bezier where you can, each one is independent of the other, and they become yellow. If we double click again, they go away completely and it turns it into a point, and that's called none. So you have no control points. And if we double click these to get to none as well, you can see that you can start making angular things. There, so now we can make angular things as well, or bring back Beziers. Now when we bring back the Bezier, this one right here is called mirror because they're both the same. So both those are the same. That's a mirror. But as one gets longer, the other also gets longer. So there's another mirror, and I double click. Now I've got the one that is called straight again, and that was the default. Cool. So that's a bit about the blob and the Bezier curves. Now you can specify how many points to start as well. So there's our starting. Let's change that. So we're going to make some changes to the blob here. We'll start off by introducing the Zim duo technique of a configuration object now. And we can say points, colon, 8, for instance. And let's see what that looks like. Ooh, there we have 8 points, and we can make things that look like this. Now, there's a way that we can have our own editor in a sense. Well, we're editing things right now, but I can't make those things go away. I can't see the shape anymore. So if we add a parameter called double click, we can just double click on it, and all these things will go away, and we can bring them back by double clicking. So let's try that because it's a bit more fun to work with. Double click, like so, DBL click, colon, true. That's named after the double click event, which is DBL click. So if I refresh now, when I double click, they go away, and I can move the circle about. So yeah, let's make a blob. Wow, wow, wow. I don't know, this is kind of like an ugly blob. It's a crown. I'm making a crown, that's what I'm doing. So the weirdest crown in the world, a blob crown. There, does that look good? Double click. Now I have a blob crown for whatever Barbapapa-like shape this was down below here. Or maybe it's a feather. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, there's a blob, and now we bring that back, and we can make our changes accordingly. I just want to play with this all day. What about you guys? Yeah. Oh, I can have a hat, a funny hat. Well, we already did a crown, but here now is a funny Western hat. Ugh, that's very ugly. Yeehaw! Yeehaw, baby! Woohoo! So what about recording? What about if we want to start off with it looking like this, which I don't really, but how can we do that? Okay, let's take a look. That is record. So it's a method, and we can maybe record when we press a button. So let's get a button. Var button is equal to a new zim.button. And we will add to the stage, position it, poison it, poise it, and how about 50, 50. And then we will say button.on, clickety clack, comma, we'll call this function. And in here we can say simple.record, like so. Now what that does is it will return an array of point information that will allow us to recreate the button that we made. If we want to view this so that we can maybe copy it, you can also pass in true here, and we'll get a pop-up window when we call this. Or you could have console.log that, but you would probably want to console.log a JSON stringified version of it. So then anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's just copy this, and we'll come back. We'll do some of that other stuff after. View this in a browser. So there's our press button, and let's make some adjustments to our blob here. Ooh, press. And now there's the information for that blob. So I'm going to copy that. And that blob just looks like so. Okay, I'm going to copy the blob. And instead of 0.8, we can paste. Now all that blob information right there goes in as the points. So points is a parameter that can either accept how many points to start off with, like around a circle, or it can receive this blob data like so. So we'll save that, and we'll refresh here, refresh, and there it is. Now it didn't save the location, but as you can see, this blob is starting off like that. And I can show you how we can save the locations. Once again, I refresh there. Another thing that we can do, aside from just double click, is we can copy this. We can make a duplicate by adding comma control click, like so, colon true. So we'll save that up, and we'll refresh here, refresh. Now we get this thing, I can't try again, we get that thing, and when we control click, so I'm holding down the control and clicking, we get a bunch of these things. And each one, if we wanted to, we can double click and we can edit that one specifically. Now we've got a slightly different one. I believe this is also set up for the editing and the copying as well. So if I control click on this one, I can make a bunch of them, and they're all turned on. I'll just turn them off. And then we've got waves or something. Well, you know, whatever. The waves and the strange looking seagulls. That's a really strange looking seagull. I don't know. Okay, so hey, that's pretty cool. What if we didn't want them to have to go through all of the extra work of you know, pressing a button to record and get it here? What if just when we make a change, next time they come back, we want that change to be saved? Shall we do that? Yeah, I guess we could do that now, or should we do it when we come back? Yeah, I think this has been pretty good. Why don't we leave it at that? It's like about a 10-minute bubbling. Let's leave it at that. That's the basics of the blobs, and the basic of the blobs. You can also animate all these blobs. Maybe I should show you that too. The basic of the blobs. And we'll come back and I'll show you how we can use local storage to quite easily store the things that we've made. Okay. I'm inventor Dan Zen. This has been a What's Bubbling, the first bubbling on blobs, and we will come back with the second bubbling on blobs. Blah, 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 blah. What's bubbling at ZIMjs.com. Have a great day.